I want to talk about the most diversified investment that you have never considered. And that, of course, is franchising. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Kim Daly. I'm a franchise consultant. And for the last 20 years of my life, I have been helping people understand the true value proposition of a franchise. And in this video, we're going to talk about why, if you are a sophisticated investor who is putting money into the stock market or putting money into real estate or putting money into syndication of any kind, why I believe you have never considered franchising, but why I believe, as a 22-year veteran of franchise consulting and a franchisee myself, you absolutely should consider franchising. So let's start with the 3 reasons why I believe you have never thought about a franchise. And the first one is pretty simple, because you believe that franchising is only food and retail. Come on, let's be real. Every sophisticated investor out there thinks to themselves, franchising, is that like Chick-fil-A and Jersey Mike's? Yeah. Thank you, but no thank you. I'm not interested in food. Okay, so I've been a franchise consultant, a fairly successful franchise consultant for over 2 decades. And there are plenty of videos on this very YouTube channel where I will talk you down from food all day long. So I think you've never thought about franchising because you believe franchising is only food and maybe retail. And then here I am, as one of the top consultants, going to tell you there's way more to franchising than food and retail. And in fact, I don't want you to be interested in food and retail. Okay, so that's number 1, because you believe franchising is only food and retail. The second reason you should consider franchising, but I know that you haven't considered franchising, is because you think you need $1 million. Every franchise is so expensive, but are they? In fact, they are not. Again, as a veteran franchise consultant, I will tell you there are franchise investments that are $60, $70, $80, $100,000 all in. And of course, there are franchises that are $1, $2, $3 million all in. And there's a whole bunch of options in the middle. So you've never thought about franchising because you believed you needed $1 million. But now that you're on my YouTube channel, I'm telling you, you should consider franchising because you don't need $1 million. Okay, the third reason I believe you, Mr. Sophisticated Investor watching Kim Daly TV, have never considered franchising is because you think you need an MBA or prior business ownership experience. Well, again, as one of America's top franchise consultants, I'm going to tell you that is a total myth. If you needed an MBA or any business experience in the particular franchise you're looking at, the franchisor would tell you that. They do not want to award you a franchise that you're going to fail in because you're going to be a headache to them, and they're going to have to disclose that in their franchise disclosure document. And if they want to keep growing their franchise, they don't want failures. So franchisors are going to be upfront with you with what you need and what you don't need. So do not disqualify yourself because you think you need an MBA or you think you need prior business ownership experience in order to be successful, because those are myths that you're telling yourself and they are not true. All right. So these are the 3 biggest reasons I believe sophisticated investors don't consider franchising. Now, I want to give you 3 really good reasons why sophisticated investors like you should be investing in franchising. The number 1 and maybe the most important reason sophisticated investors should be thinking about franchising is for the opportunity to build and scale wealth. So everyone knows that business ownership is the way to the fastest cash flowing asset. But going out as an entrepreneur means spending years and money and so much time trying to figure out how to make money, to define a customer, to figure out how to get to that customer and how many customers and how much money is it going to take to feed into this before we can produce cash flow. Well, When you invest in a franchise, you're not figuring out any of those things. It's already been figured out by the franchisor. So you're going to pay a one-time fee called a franchise fee, and that's going to buy you access into what I call their Disneyland. So you pay the franchise fee, you buy down that learning curve by partnering yourselves with these people who've already figured it out. And you might have just bought down the first 3 to 5 years of being an entrepreneur. So look, if you have the dream to build and scale wealth using a business cash flowing asset, and you want to go be an entrepreneur, that's awesome. But if the goal is to build and scale wealth through a business, franchising wins all day long, every single time. Because in the 3 to 5 years that you would be figuring out how to make money as an entrepreneur, as a franchisepreneur, you could get 3 to 5 locations going. So in all things, stock market, real estate, and franchising, wealth is created through scale. So if franchising comes with the inherent ability to scale quickly, then franchising wins when it comes to building and scaling wealth through a business. So that's going to be the first and maybe the most important reason that you, a sophisticated investor, should consider franchising. The second reason that I believe you, a sophisticated investor, should consider investing in a franchise is because of the potential for time freedom. So again, we all know that business cash flowing returns are the ones that we want. We all want businesses in our portfolio. But going out there and buying a private business for sale probably comes with a lot of hours for you learning the business, figuring out the inefficiencies in the business, figuring out what you don't know about the business. And that takes a lot of time and effort on your part. But in a franchise, if you invest in the right franchise, you can buy in as what we would call a semi-active investor. So this means from day one, you could be part-time with a full-time manager. Now, not every franchise out there allows for this setup. But if you use an experienced franchise consultant like Kim Daly to help you find the right businesses for your goals, this is part of the conversation that we would have. And I could lead you to those opportunities that really do work when you keep your full-time job, or when you're running another business, or when you're managing your portfolio, but you want to add in a business cash flowing return called a franchise because you're looking to build and scale wealth quickly. And you love the idea, but you don't want to tie yourself down as an owner operator. You don't even want to tie yourself down as an executive full-time operator. You want to be that investor, that semi-active investor with a full-time general manager that you're managing, and the manager is working in the business, and that frees you up to work on it. Option to be a semi-involved owner from day one in a business cash flowing asset, I don't know that it really exists anywhere else in entrepreneurship except in franchisepreneurship. And the third reason that you, Mr. Sophisticated Investor watching Kim Daly TV, should consider franchising as an amazing option in your portfolio is the opportunity to build a legacy for your family. Now, there are many different legacies that can be built in franchising. There's the simple legacy of a business that you pass on to your kids. But sometimes trying to decide if the business you're investing in today will still be relevant 15 or 20 years from now, if you have small kids and you're trying to build a legacy, sometimes that's too weighty of a decision to try to make. So the legacy may be the business that you pass on to your kids, but get this. There are other ways to build and scale wealth and build a total portfolio of franchises, which could be an even more amazing legacy. So think about it like this. You could come into franchising and you could invest in one particular business where you're honing in on one customer avatar. You learn that avatar, you know what that woman loves. And so now you get 2 or 3 locations scaled of that one business. And then you come back to Kim Daly and we start looking for another business that caters to that same female. Now you could double down. So you have one business, and if it's a non-competing business, you could use your customer base from one business to lift the other business, especially if you could put it in the same strip center or in the same community. So that's another way to build a portfolio that could be an amazing legacy for you and your family. And the third way that you could build this legacy idea, this portfolio of franchises, is to invest in a parent organization that has multiple franchises under one umbrella. So you find one franchisor partner, you build one system on one platform, and then you come back to that franchisor, double down with another service offering using the same technology platform, all the same systems managed by the same franchisor, and hopefully even overlapping the same territory. So let me make that more clear. Let's say that you're investing in a home services franchisor and they have a plumbing business and they have a restoration business and they have a window cleaning business and they have a power washing business. Well, let's say that you start with power washing. So you buy 1, 2, 3 territories to build out a power washing company. You're loving it. You're making money, but you're ready for growth. But you have enough invested in the territories in power washing. So you go back to your home services franchisor and say, what can I double down on going over these same territories, go back to the same customer who we are power washing for, and now we're going to offer them another home service. So this is another amazing way for you to build and scale wealth in a diversified portfolio, but all within franchising, and to build an amazing legacy for you and your family. So if you are that sophisticated investor who has never thought about franchising, I hope I've made my case. And if I have, well, you know that I want to be your franchise consultant and your daily coach. Please follow the link in the description right now, and I will reach out to you so we can open up this conversation and I can help you become a diversified and sophisticated investor in this amazing industry that I'm proud to be a part of, called franchising.